let's be real about verbally effective.
Yes.
We got a special guest today.
Surprise.
Number one cowgirl.
Y'all know she is, man. We call her the podcast queen around here. Ina Esco, how you doing?
I am lovely. How are you guys doing this morning?
Doing well, doing well.
Thanks so much for the invite. It's been a minute. I haven't caught up with you guys in a while. I was a former guest on the show some time back. It probably was a few years back, right?
Yeah.
So I'm glad to see you all still doing your thing. I love the platform and I'm ready to talk my cash money because I know that's what y'all want to do with my Cowboys. What broom breaker?
Broom breaker. We may have to talk about this story later.
We got to get the origin of that because I just saw the picture and we'll get that later.
I hope you bought another one now. You ain't got another one, so you still been using it like this. Come on, man. Anyway, welcome back to the pod. For sure, we love you. We call you the podcast queen, but to me, you've always been like that cool aunt that'll sneak you like $20 every now and then. Like since like my start career, we were both at our heart together. And you still in radio? Are you still in radio? Or
I am. Okay. I'm currently at WYXR Crosstown Concourse at the new station. So I do an R&B show on Sundays from 5 to 7 p.m. called Musically Effective. It's like
come on now.
R&B, like an R&B format, 2-hour show. So we get to program our own music. Like you program.
Come on.
That's the beauty of it. So, that's like opposite iHeart, opposite Citadel, opposite Cumulus, all those. So it's very rewarding and I really enjoy it.
Man, I enjoy hearing that, and that's all I'm gonna say with that one. So let's get into. Of course, you've been on before, but verbally effective. Let the listeners know exactly what that is, and then we can definitely get into what you got going on with that as well.
Okay, so Verbally Effective Podcast. I am the host, Ina Esco. It's an interview style podcast that intersects art, culture, politics, entertainment with a Memphis focus. That means, my guests include people that are from Memphis, have roots to Memphis, tied to Memphis or the surrounding areas. Last Monday, I just talked to my 200 podcast guests. So it's a lot of people that have been coming, sharing their journeys, the highs, the lows, and, providing some inspiration to people in their specific fields. So Verbally Effective has definitely been a blessing. It has been indeed a journey. I started it in 2018 and it's still rolling. My team looks different. The projects are different now. The goals are different and I'm, just happy. Like I'm building a brand and I'm loving it. The top tier brand though is Ivy Multimedia. So Verbally Effective is up under that. And what my goal now is, since I'm a full-time entrepreneur, I just quit my corporate job 2 weeks ago. And it has been so rewarding so far because it feels like God has been aligning things to what my goals are. It's crazy, but it's real, right? So my love is for media, multimedia, media in all facets. So I want to help others produce their podcasts, produce their content, some PR work as well. That's what, is under Ivy Multimedia as well. Some PR, public relations work. I've, been, blessed to get a couple of clients so far and media training as well. So Verbally Effective is still rolling, still talking to these, creative Memphians out here and still inspiring people.
So one thing I definitely wanted to know, because we can all attest to it, like through, I guess, the last year and a half or so throughout the pandemic, is that getting content for one was the thing, not being able to be next to each other, was the thing. Like it was just this whole thing in itself. So in your eyes, how has your media, how's your content and your media like evolved throughout the pandemic?
Oh, wow. Well, we kind of talked about, iHeart. I'm no longer with iHeart. So, at iHeart, we had the luxury of being in a studio, everything at our fingertips. And I was laid off from there. And when that happened, I partnered with Shelby County Schools, and I was using their studios. And, they were playing Verbally Effective every Saturday morning. Then the pandemic hit. And I'm like, oh my God, we couldn't go back in the studio. So I immediately transitioned to Zoom platform. So, I only interview one guest and I'm the host. So, people were still heavily on social media. So it wasn't hard to find a guest, and people had a lot of time on their hands, right? So, I didn't like the Zoom platform though. I did like it because I like to meet my guests and vibe off of them. But I knew I still had to put the content out. And so, other things that are tied to your brand and your podcast that you have to engage with people in person could no longer happen, right? No more Podbox, no more, networking events, no more trainings in person. So even the podcast trainings, evolved to Zooms, which people still participated. So that was great. Another thing that happened during the pandemic, I released a merch line. That went absolutely wonderful. Like the support was amazing. I have on a Verbally Effective tee right now, but we created hoodies with other things described. I don't know if you can see it, but it's my logo basically with Verbally Effective. But the guys probably don't want my little emoji on their chest, so we created other hoodies describing Verbally Effective. So we had a purpose hoodie and we had a definition hoodie as well. But just, the pandemic made you become more creative with your content, because you probably was at the house, but you still had to put stuff out there. People were still posting. I started just really pulling stories and pulling things that I thought would be great for the audience for Verbally Effective, things that tied to Memphis to promote. So, my podcast centers around Memphis. So that's my audience. So it really kind of made me hone in and focus on my audience, because that's who's listening to your podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, people have podcasts and they may not know who their audience is. Like, I know you guys know who your audience is. Your focus is sports. Who you're tailoring to. And that's important to understand that, because that's the content that you want to push out. But, things are opening back up now. So we outside now. So getting content is much better now, right? Like I told you, I'm at the Consortium MMT now recording with guests. I have a videographer, an engineer, a producer, and we working out here. We're working.
That's beautiful to hear. Beautiful to hear. I guess in a personal question, like, how have you evolved as a person, especially like in media?
Well, overall, let's say overall as a person, when the pandemic started and we were all at the house, I mean, it really kind of made you just buckle down and understand what's more important. Spending time with family. That's something that I never spent this much time with my family. I was always on the go. I always had a corporate job, worked in radio, might have had another thing to do. So I was going like a chicken with my head cut off, right? So the pandemic slowed me all the way down and made me realize, where I need to put attention to in my life. And I would say that that's when I started really honing in on IB Multimedia and where I wanted that to go. Like I told you guys, I left my corporate job recently, but that was the plan, right? And things were just coming to a head. I was getting too busy on the media side. I didn't have, I could not focus on that anymore, and it was stressing me out. And, physically, I was like, nah. I talked to my husband. He was like, baby, just quit. You've already laid the foundation. Go ahead and do it. So that's what I'm doing. And I've learned a great deal about working with people, working with teams. Kind of, when you meet somebody, kind of asking the right questions to fill them out. If you want to go forward with business on them, getting necessary contracts in place, negotiating price has been one of my main focuses, because these people will get you if you don't know. So overall, just growing in this media world has been a journey, ups, downs, all arounds, but I'm still in it. So I just have to think positive. And like I said, align myself with people that want some of the same things I do, right? So that's what I'm doing.
Nice. So as we continue to see more, like especially in sports, right? Like we had the whole Rachel Nichols things, and now we got Malika Andrews coming in, on ESPN basketball, and just come and dominate and do her thing. Like we're definitely seeing, the age of Black women in sports, which is beautiful. I'm seeing more presence on social media. I'm seeing more teams, rock with the women. So I think for me to ask you is like, why do you think it's so important for Black women to use their voices to be verbally effective?
Wow, that's a good question. I'm a former athlete as well. I think we talked about this on the first podcast, so I get it. There has always been I would say, a double standard with women in sports and women getting their accolades. For example, the U.S. soccer team with the Olympics, they just got some money, I believe, right? Did y'all hear about that? In some big lawsuit or whatever. But I mean, especially for Black women, because Black women, we excel in everything we do, and we're going to work hard for it. And we don't always get the recognition for it. So I think, the beauty of Black women getting their flowers now, it's amazing. It's needed. It's necessary. And, we had to wait till the 2020s to start getting more flowers, but it's okay. It's okay. We here. We ain't going nowhere. I think it's a beautiful thing. I'm a big advocate for Black women in the media using their voices. I would love to just promote all Black women on podcasts. I would like to produce all Black women, but I'm gonna keep it open. But I'm targeting Black women to use their voice because we are the smallest percentage in this podcast realm. So I know we have a lot to say. I know we've been through a lot, and I know we can share experiences with the world that may change some things. So, it's Women's History Month, and I'm glad y'all invited me because, y'all probably get a lot of guys on here, talk they stuff or whatever, but I'm glad that you guys are highlighting, women in the media and women that may, focus in on sports. But yeah, it's time. It's overdue, actually.
Agreed. And I guess like the final question for me is like, what would be your last encouraging words, for a young lady or a woman looking to get into media? Like, hey, I don't have a mic, or they overthinking it and everything. Like you've seen it all. So
Yeah.
what would be your final encouraging words to them right now?
Encouraging words for young ladies. I would say, if you want to do media, and the internet is wide open right now. You can actually take courses right now. It's at your fingertips. If you want to discover more about media, the tools are there. Research on it, see exactly what you want to do in media because it is a wide spectrum, right? I would also say and encourage women to ask the right questions, to whoever is probably giving the training. Be specific. If you want to be in the news, if you want to be in radio, these particular industries kind of have evolved quite a bit, and that barrier of entry is different now, but the beauty of it is the internet is wide open. You can actually start your own podcast, start your own YouTube, start your own blog or whatever right now. So I would say get some experience, get some training. You can actually hit me up, if need be, to ask for some advice. I would be more than willing to help any young lady that's interested in media. And I'm glad you asked that because I am currently partnering with the city of Memphis. They have renovated the new Cosset Library on Front Street. Have you guys heard of that library? Yep. It hasn't been open for some time. This was like the first library that was integrated in Memphis back in the day, right? But the building has like very old bones. Anyway, they're renovating it. And they partnered with me to do multimedia programming with the community. So this is free to the public. if any young lady is interested in learning about any aspect of media, they can come directly to me at COSIT starting in April. So what that entails is 2 floors over there at COSIT. It's not open yet. They're waiting on their certificate of occupancy. Like I said, the building is old. They had a lot of things to do in there. However, on the 2nd floor, they have renovated 2 studios for podcasting. So they need to get the paneling on the wall and everything, but everything looks beautiful. Everything is modern, high ceilings. Other than media, they also have photography, different areas that people may be into that are creatives, right? So, if you're here in Memphis, you can come to me in April directly at COSIT Library, but just keep looking at the website because we'll start rolling out the programming. And hey, I'm here if any young lady needs me.
Y'all, please reach out to her. Like, I've been knowing Ina for years, and like she's always been like that ear that I can always be like, hey, how to do this better, or I see you doing this, so how can we do this better? And it's like I'm happy and proud of you to see where you're going and to really just see. I'm proud of you right now. Like,
thank you. Don't make me cry.
Nah, we ain't gonna do it. But Sharky, I know the fellas have some
I'm
questions.
just so thankful we still have this relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because it was genuine, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I'm proud of you too, boo-boo.
Not boo-boo.
Oh, y'all so sweet.
Not boo-boo. Come on, man. You just
I was about to say that man damn near 30.
In July.
I'm proud of you, Kevin.
Yep. Piggyback off to what Tuke said. I am proud of you as well. And I mean, our podcast is partially still going because of you. You allowing us to, come to the pod box events. Me and you, we linked for their swap pods. It don't seem like it was that long ago, but it was 2020 now.
Right. But guess what? We're gonna have one coming up in April.
Say less.
Oh, y'all coming?
For sure.
Y'all be there? We're gonna get Kevin in town.
Now that
that's
let's talk about that.
He a little too Hollywood for us. He a little too Hollywood.
Like Phoenix.
Yeah, he done switched into another time zone. He only come back over this side no man.
I don't like y'all right now, man. But it's cool. Like I said, the smoke can be returned. We're gonna talk about them dudes in a minute.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right.
Real quick before we move on. Random fact: I performed the inspection at COSIT Library before the renovation, so I am pretty interested to see because during the inspection, there was a lot of.
When did you do it?
That was like in 2019.
Okay, but you haven't done anything recently. It's totally different.
I know.
I mean, if you walk in there now, it's gorgeous. However, I think the halt may be the sprinkler system, which may be very antiquated. And okay, fix it so we can open. But yeah,
that's about right. It needed a lot of work, so I'm glad to hear that it's looking good. So, before we move on, man, we got a word from our new sponsor. Let's Be Real Media is pleased to announce we are sponsored by Ralph Brand. Ralph culture is surrounded by skates, punk, and hip-hop art. We are looking forward to co-designing materials for this journey with them. Please visit ralphbrand.com for purchasing merch now and for future collaborations with Let's Be Real Media. Let's get it. Y'all know we had Austin on last week promoting this. So remember, visit ralphbrand.com and continue following us and everything that we got going in the future with it. But transition into sports. We ain't gonna start with the Cowboys. Let's start with WNBA. Let's keep it with the women. So Ina, did you see the things this week about the New York Liberty getting fined $500,000 for using charter flights last year?
No, update me.
Yeah, WNBA apparently they aren't supposed to fly charter.
Why not? Does the NBA fly charter?
Yes,
they do. So the reason they can't do it is because not every NBA team or owner has that ability to charter flights. Is essentially what That's what the issue was. The owner for the New York Liberty is able to charter those flights, but not every organization for the WNBA is able to do so. So I think that's why they were. I think it's in some type of language or something like that to say, such and such team cannot. Well, NBA teams cannot charter flights because not every team can do so. So that's why they were fined, I guess.
So they pick and choose which ones that can.
Basically.
Okay, I just need clarification. Eli, one is up on me. Okay, And then what happened? It was a big deal.
It is, and even more, they talk about possibly, I doubt they do it, but they talk about terminating the franchise. And
over that?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's too harsh, I think.
on the first day of Women's History Month. This came out March the 1st.
Horrible. Like, why would they? That's horrible. Like, that wasn't even a team fault. I'm sure the team didn't book the charter, right?
No.
That's horrible. So this story is still, matriculating, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy. I got to tune in. I got to talk about that on Verbally Effective. Thank you.
It's a long list of stuff that's been troubling the WNBA because this has been a lot of complaints.
There you go, Ryan.
There you go, Ryan. It's in their collective bargaining agreement. But yeah, it's just a long list just of what's been going wrong with the WNBA, just with the flights, and just how they're flying and the conditions that they've been subject to when they're traveling, which again, New York found this loophole. They were able to pull this off, and now it bothers me the fact that they're even thinking about terminating the franchise, which I thought was ridiculous. But yeah,
right,
it's a long list.
That's horrible. Like, do y'all want the WNBA gone or something? Like, y'all doing too much.
You're definitely doing way too much, and it's hard to really, as we are in 2022 now, it's hard to really, be in 22 and like understand or have to grasp the concept that that's illegal. Like, NBA team or WNBA teams can't charter flights. Like, they should be able to do whatever they wanted to do. Like, if the New York Liberty is able to afford the type of thing, then hey, then that should be open. That should be open for them. I just think that's crazy.
And the complaint is that the only complaint with them chartering the flight is that they weren't on the approval list to do that. That's the only complaint.
Yeah.
Well, they and just other teams aren't able to afford that. It's a competitive advantage, is what they're saying.
Is what was the word they used? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so maybe other teams kind of felt a way about that too.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Messy boots. So that's like kind of like a little problem within the WNBA itself. Not so much, comparing them to the NBA, how they do it is within the WNBA.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's not just with that, of course, it's with the pay, how much they're making, and
the max salary is $228,000.
I was just about to ask you that. Comparable to,
I think isn't Becky Hammond making like $1 million this year to coach the Asians?
Yep.
Just to coach.
So what is the reason behind that salary? How are they justifying that max salary?
Trying to maximize profits. I mean, you got to think, like, for me, it's the WNBA really don't know how. They're not utilizing marketing to their best advantage, meaning they're not getting the most bang for their buck. That's for one. For two, just because you put a team in a major market don't mean that you're going to get that support back. Memphis should have a WNBA team.
Are they filling?
How was that?
Are they filling seats at these games?
No,
until playoffs.
And after the playoffs,
And the problem is they're using like the big arenas. Like LA uses this, not the Staples Center, the Crypto.com arena now.
Crypto.com arena.
And that's money. That costs money. So,
right. Yeah.
What I think, to me, maybe the advantage, like an advantage for them, would be better strategic marketing for these WNBA teams. They've been around for forever. Like, they've been around. And it doesn't seem like much has changed.
Nah, leadership.
Who's
over the WNBA?
We don't even know.
We don't know. That's a good question.
We don't even know.
Like, is it a woman? Is it a man? Not to say that matters, but I'm just asking for a friend.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, to your point, like, I think it's I think it's the same issue that that the MLB has. I just think that they struggle with like marketing. I think they struggle with like trying to put the faces of their league out there so people can understand who they are. I think they gotta. I'm not sure who the commissioner of the WNBA is, but whoever it is, either one needs to be doing a better job of what they are doing, or put somebody else in a position to make sure that the WNBA is in good hands, that they are doing everything that they can to make sure that people know who the face of the league is. People, so they understand, or they can make sure that people know who Diana Taurasi is. People know like who's the leading scorer for the Las Vegas Aces. Like they need to make sure that they're doing stuff like that. Is what I think.
Yeah, and you know what? I really like, let's say if I look at ESPN, I don't see a lot of coverage on WNBA. Like some of these sports networks, I don't see a lot of coverage. Maybe that would assist as well.
Yeah, and that hasn't
too, but
and it hadn't really changed either. If you look at the national TV schedule, right now, like you're having opening, I think your opening day, you do not have a game televised on national television.
That's horrible.
And then Los Angeles, I think the Sparks, they only have one nationally televised game for the whole season, and that's on the 4th of July. So who's really going to be tuning in to watch any kind of sports at that matter on the 4th of July? So it's a lot that can be done.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll give them credit to say, I've seen more televised WNBA games than I probably saw like 5 or 6 years ago. But I think it's to what Savage has said. Like, and I think one of y'all just said it too. Like, I think you got to put these teams in a better market. Like, I don't think you necessarily need. It's great, but I don't think you need a WNBA team in LA amongst every other team that's in LA. You got the Rams, you got the Lakers,
amongst
you got
everything
UFC.
else to do. You got everything else to do in that city too.
But those are bigger markets, though. You would think the bigger market would have a team. What, LA is number 2? Think of the population, think of the money per capita.
But you also have to think about like what you're going up against as far as when the WNBA is in the season. To Skylar's point, you got the Rams, you got the Lakers, you got the Clippers, and in the summertime while the WNBA is going,
Dodgers,
you got the Angels. I mean, I know it's in a whole different part of California. You got the A's, you got the Giants, so you
got the beautiful city of LA to compete with.
Yeah, well,
I'm
amazed they haven't figured that out yet.
And also playing those big arenas, like build your own, like a smaller arena that you can actually fill up. Like think about them, like Lady Tigers. They play at the Emerald Fieldhouse because guess what? They could possibly fill the arena up. They can't. It don't make sense to play in the Fairness Forum.
Yeah, and you know what's needed? A podcast to highlight the WNBA. I think Candace Parker, isn't she doing something with that now?
Not sure she has a podcast, but I know she's on TNT. She's on
NBA
TV. She's on NBA
TV. But I know she started a podcast. But I was thinking,
I think she started one. We got to do our homework on that.
I would be surprised if
I saw that she started one. Not sure if it's highlighting the WNBA, but what I'm saying is that would be great if a Candace Parker or some, that has some, big status that can review, do like a sports review on strictly WNBA and bring some attention to it.
Like
Maybe come up on the Ivy Multimedia, which I think.
There you go.
Gotta plug it.
See what you did there.
There you go.
So Candace Parker does have one, but it's called Moments with Candace Parker, and it's to celebrate parenthood to the fullest. So I'm not sure she is doing it sports based, like she's doing it to help mothers and
parenthood route.
Parenthood.
Baby, her and her.
Yes. Yep.
So
I heard that.
But hey, let's bring something to you.
Right. There's always an opportunity,
There are 2 WNBA players that I could see doing it. Shanae Gumike, she works for ESPN. She would definitely be good for that role and creating podcasts about that. But Liz Cambage, she's definitely been speaking out about WNBA and their pay and everything. So she would definitely be really good for those type of things.
Okay. Noted.
But let's go and get to the team you didn't want to talk about.
And here we go.
Are y'all only talking about a particular team because y'all know I'm a fan, or y'all were gonna talk anyway?
No, we're gonna talk. Well, we probably was gonna talk about it because the news dropped yesterday.
Yeah.
Involving the Cowboys, so it's like a perfect segue
Right.
for us.
Y'all might be releasing y'all. Yeah, ain't no Mike. Y'all are probably going to release y'all best wide
Your
receiver,
best wide receiver,
Amari
Right.
Cooper.
We
It
have a
says.
wide receiver issue at this time.
Nah, he ain't the one that Michael Irvin blessed. Remember that?
CD.
Michael Irvin blessed another player with his number. So, hey, get out the way and let him shine. But like
I
always,
don't know. I mean,
So let me ask you this, guys.
88 ain't worked out since Michael Irvin left it. Let's just be real. We saw what happened to Dez, so let's
And look how long ago that was. Look how long ago that was. But why are they trading him? Money.
Supposedly saving money.
They're supposed to be saving money to
20
sign
million,
another guy, sign another receiver y'all have that's
just not as good.
Not as good. Not as good as Amari Cooper.
He's good, but he's not Amari Cooper.
And I will say you can understand it. I will say it's like a production, which I think half of that is Coop's fault, but I think the other half is Dak's fault, but that's a different story. But then also I've been watching the combine a lot, and then if you just kind of look at the talent that's in if you look at the talent that's in this wide receiver group for the NFL, like you can kind of say I can kind of pass on giving Amari Cooper $20-25 million a year and probably, pay this first round wide receiver X amount of dollars and probably get the same amount of production that I'm getting from Amari Cooper. Again, half of that is his fault, and I think the other half is Dak's fault, or the play calling is part of it. But I think if I was Jerry Jones or whoever makes those decisions, you can kind of understand that. He just, there are times where Amari Cooper's like, damn, like he's top 10 receiver in the league. And then there's times you're like, damn, is Amari Cooper out there? You see what I'm saying? So I can understand it.
You know what? Change is good. Let's shake it up and see what fall out of it. And, whoever this new guy is, you never know how they're going to perform. So, hey, I'm willing to shake it up because I want to see my Cowboys win a Super Bowl before I die.
Good luck.
You and all the rest of them.
Yeah.
Look, as a fan, I just want to see y'all in the Super Bowl so I can actually just be like, okay, y'all made it to the Super Bowl, cool. But
y'all gonna be hating so hard when it happened.
It's been 27 years. It's been I was 3 years old the last time y'all went to a Super Bowl, and y'all been saying that since then that y'all gonna go to the Super Bowl,
and we are.
I mean, they've had their opportunities now. Let's
look at Ryan Harris. We already
Ryan said it.
Y'all already know Cowboy fans are ride or die. We don't care what y'all say. We don't care what stats you throw out. We don't care. Like, we still rooting for the Cowboys when you get done. So, like I said, maybe this trade will be a blessing in disguise. And then Jerry, he not feeling good, so we might get a new owner soon. Which I think.
Good luck.
I highly doubt that. The Cowboys is valued a little over $5 billion right now, so I don't think
Jerry Jones gonna be running that franchise in heaven.
No, he can't do that. That's not possible.
He gonna be running
to his son. Even when he's not here,
he's gonna pass it down to his son. Who's gonna be
telling his son what to do?
That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and I don't want to put words in Ender's mouth, but I kind of get that vibe that, like, I think, if I was a Cowboys fan, I was desperately want to see somebody else that's not a part of the Jones family be able to make decisions. I think that's their problem. I just think that it's all family oriented. They looked up to their dad for so long. Right. He's made these particular decisions, and it's just like, oh my God, Ryan.
Right.
I told y'all last week. Let's block him. But at the end of the day, they got to get better decision makers in there. They have to understand that what we gave Dak Prescott, but the money that we gave to Zeke Elliott, that wasn't a good idea. Waiting as long as they did to give Dak Prescott his money wasn't a good idea. I honestly think even still they overpaid on Amari Cooper. So they got to get somebody in their organization to say, hey guys, what we've done over the past 27 years ain't worked. We got to come up with come up with better decision making, need a better coach in my opinion. But they got to do things differently. Consistency is key, and consistently they have I won't say been bad, but they've made bad decisions in my opinion. So they just got to make, they got to do better in that regard.
It's almost like they built this dynasty off of that old Super Bowl win, and it's like we're living in the past. They're making the same type of decisions. They want the same structure, and nothing is changing. So if nothing changes, you get nothing. So we need some changes at a very high level. And as far as the team as well, like, if them guys are not gelling well, it's time to shake it up. I'm with it. Let's do it.
They'll be right there. They'll be right there in the playoffs again next season.
They weren't there?
They'll be right there in the playoffs again next season. So there's a chance.
I'm glad you said that. You know that, right?
I mean, honestly, if you
in a bad division.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's what it is.
Also, that's why they going to the playoff, because of the division.
I mean, the Eagles not doing much of anything right now.
Go.
Okay. I hear you.
Fried Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, the Eagles are not doing too much of anything. Washington, the Commanders, oh wow, I can't believe I actually got it right. They need a quarterback.
Oh, ain't nobody saying that.
I'm not going to even speak of the Giants. So
what's going on with the Giants?
Yeah, the Giants.
They're the Giants.
Decisions. Yeah.
I have a old college roommate from New York. She lives in Memphis now. A big Giant fan, but now she's a Steeler.
Wow.
New York pissed off. They were,
But yeah, because and then like if you look at how the NFC is possibly going to shape up after this offseason, like there's a very, very strong chance that if Dallas keeps everything intact, if they do everything supposedly the right way, they could very well be there, because we don't know what's going to happen with Green Bay. There's a good chance Aaron Rodgers is possibly going to be gone. The Rams will still be there, obviously, because they just won the Super Bowl. And then outside of those two, who else is really there? Like Tampa Bay's finna change because Tom Brady's not there anymore. So it's a real opportunity for the Cowboys to really get back into serious contention for a Super Bowl. Let's just hope Jerry Jones doesn't mess it up. But
I think it's Jerry Jones in the front office. But I also, people call me what you want. Mike McCarthy ain't it. I saw them very, very early. Until they realize that, I honestly think that they won't be doing much. They'll probably still make the playoffs, but they'll probably do it exactly what they've been doing over the past 20-something years. They'll get into the playoffs, and then they'll lose the games, which they really should have beat the 49ers. In my honest opinion, the Cowboys had a better team than the 49ers did. But, when it comes to the X's and O's, when it comes to making sure your team is ready, they just refuse to do that. Whether it's Mike McCarthy, whether it was Jason Garrett, whether whoever it was before that, like they refuse to get the coaching decision. They refuse to get the coaching decision right, because they want a certain type of coach to coach that team. And Jerry Jones doesn't want to answer to nobody, and he's just scared to, I guess, give away control.
He doesn't answer to anyone, and that's the problem. Bye, Jerry. Bye, Jerry. Bye. Go away, Jerry. Now, you know what? And it can, since it's a family dynamic thing, it's possibly the son may have a whole different perspective on things, but Jerry's still around and Jerry is influencing everything.
Steven has a little bit more sense than Jerry.
Exactly. And that's usually how
it ain't about a whole lot. It's just a little bit. Because
I bet you his mind is probably a little more open than Daddy's. You know what I'm saying?
That year y'all needed the offensive line. Jerry Jones to show out here like, no, let's get Johnny Manziel. No, y'all need offensive line.
And actually, I can't attest to that Titans fan, because our old owner, Bud Adams, rest in peace, he died. Titans are going downhill. Now his daughter is over the team. She's owner, Amy Adams Strunk, and she's doing a great job. So actually can attest to that. That can happen.
It's time for a new legacy in charge. If that's what we're dealing with, change is good. Come on, Cowboys. We're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Let's go and move forward to the Memphis Tigers. Let's take it back home to the city of Memphis.
Man, when you say Memphis Tigers, I still have that clip of Penny in my head when he went off on the media. Remember that?
Yes, I was about to mention it.
Ingrained in me when we talk about the Tigers.
You know what's crazy? That was
Yeah, it's a month
2
ago.
months ago. I was about to say a month or two ago. And that's
yeah,
like it's. I would like for people to understand how stressful it is to be a Memphis Tigers fan. Because good Lord, like a month or two ago, I was just like,
yep.
God, I don't even know if I want to go to another game. But now I'm just like, bro, tomorrow it's about to be crazy. Like it's about to be sold out. It's a whiteout. You know, if we win tomorrow, we're pretty much in the NCAA tournament. So it's highs and lows, it's ups and downs every season with the Tigers. But damn, it feels so much better now than it did a month or two ago.
Yeah, and you know what, with the Memphis Tigers, I feel like since Penny joined as the coach, there were these expectations, right? And they were immediate. They wanted instant gratification, but he has to build his program. I feel what he said when he said it. Like it takes time to get this team right. And if you got folks injured and things like that, that's really changing the whole dynamic of the team. So, you know, I really hope that, you know, they win. When is it? Tomorrow?
Yep. 11 a.m.
Yeah. Is it in Memphis?
Yeah.
It's
Memphis.
Y'all going to the game?
I'm there.
I'll be
there. I'll be at church the first day off.
Yeah, I'll be at church.
Get it right, Trevor. Goodness.
But yeah, but to your point, to Penny's point, it's true. It does take time, but a lot of that expectation that was expected from fans, Penny kind of brought that on himself as well. When you come out and saying you want all the smoke, you want hey, we're ready to play anybody, everybody, you know, roll the ball out, let's go. When you it's almost like pouring fuel on the fire, pretty much. When you're adding that gasoline to that fire, of course, when things don't go well, it's going to be a real harder fall from grace like that. But I'm just happy that he's doing things. Yeah, I'm just happy he's doing things. You know, he's turning around, because I've been critical of him, because I even questioned whether or not he had the ability to coach. I know what he does for the city. I know what he does as far as recruiting. I know he can get a player to come to Memphis. But when it comes to X's and O's, when you're out there on the floor, can you get it done? And for pretty much the first half of the season, I was like, he can't get it done right now.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Some Savage been saying
it's the truth to that, though.
Yeah, that is some truth to that, though.
It's the truth.
Savage been saying this for years.
Because my wife listed the game the other day. She was like, "Do we have any white players?"
Ryan going in. Do we have any white players?
We got one. It's John Camden White.
John Camden. He's
redshirted.
He's hurt.
Doesn't he pretty much recruit from his AAU experience?
Yep.
You know, in relationships he has with. I mean, I think he, like you said, he has a good eye for talent, but you know, that execution side, I don't know.
Yeah, it's about putting it all together.
It's more so. It's even less about X's and O's. It's more about meshing the talent together. Because even like John Calipari is not the greatest X's and O's coach, but he knows how to get top end talent to play together. He got Devin Booker to be a 6-man. I mean,
and he's one of the top superstars in the NBA right now.
And I was about to say, if I can push back, like I think, you know, he's done a much better job over the past, I would say, year or two, of not necessarily like, because I think a lot of the players that he's gotten recently, he had no ties to. And I think, honestly, Lester's a good player. I think Landers is a good player. But what my issue with Penny was, he was playing too many people. When you're playing too many people and you're subbing in 4 and 5 people, people can't get adjusted to the game. People can't get in the flow of the game. And that's what the problem was. You know, I think he's come a long way. Tyler's come a long way. Like everybody on the team has come a long way. But the reason it took so long is because he's playing 9 to 10 people a game. And that's just not sustainable. You just can't get a team to mesh and gel together when after 3 or 4 minutes, you got another 4 or 5 people coming in and the game just tipped 5 minutes ago. You see what I'm saying? So what I pushed this to y'all, like what I've seen over the past month is 2 things. 1, he's cut down his rotation. 2, to what somebody just said about the X's and O's, you see, you know, Larry Brown's imprint or his imprint on the team. It's more ball movement. It's more them being patient on offense. A lot of times early in the season, even last year, like they were just rushing, and that's part of my issue with Tyler. Like they were just rushing. Like they didn't slow down. I'm just like, bro, like there's 30 seconds on the shot clock. We don't have to be checking them shots within like 5 seconds of you just getting the ball. And so what you've seen now is them taking their time and damn it, get the ball to Jalen Duren, please.
Thank you.
Thank you,
man. I don't understand how it took this long to get that man the ball, but that man is a monster. I'm so glad that whoever it was that told Penny to get him the ball, they have done that, and they just look so much better now. He's dominant, and I'm not. If I'm the Grizzlies and you're able to, keep that Lakers pick,
right?
I would.
He gonna be gone within the first 5 picks, bro. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, right. And he may be, but he right. But he just looks like he looks so great, and it's not even just like him just catching lobs and finishing at the rim. It's him posting up. It's him like shooting, like hitting fadeaway shots, which is like he's opened up an entire bag that honestly I didn't realize that he had. But he is a huge reason as to why the Memphis Tigers are playing really, really well and are on the verge of making the NCAA tournament.
So I think like that whole situation, just like you said, they helping them find an identity, which is absolutely correct. But I think after that, you can kind of see that they started playing with each other again.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell like they were just doing their own thing. And if I'm a player under Penny Hardaway, I'm like, damn, my coach really got my back like that. Like, okay, let's find a way to make this situation better for for right now, being the present, make this situation for the best of us and worry about the rest later. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing on this team. Like you said, get the ball to Durant. You know what I'm saying? He's the best player on the team. Let's do it. Everybody else defense. Let's not overthink. Let's just play winning basketball. And I think that's what we finally seeing right now.
Yep.
Because my thing is like Penny could coach, but it's like the player's still on the court. Like you can call plays, but if a player got the ball, it's nothing that a coach can do. And that's what a lot we were seeing in the first half of the season.
But a lot of that had to do with, like Scott said, rotations, playing too many guys.
Definitely that too.
So once you finally,
I think everybody have kind of like evolved throughout this whole situation.
You can kind of see early on in the season too, like a lot of the players was like trying to get their FGAs up. They trying to get their field goal attempts up because it's almost like in the back of their mind. It was like in the back of their mind, they're like, okay, I'm going to come out, so let me get out here and try to get up as many shots as I possibly can to try to help the team before I sit down. So that was also an issue too with that.
Just ego, man. That's all it was. Ego.
How long has Penny been the coach?
This year 4.
This is year 4.
And so when I guess with the NCAA team, when they get a new coach, like, is there like an average amount of years they give this coach to groom a team and get results?
It's about 3 to 4. Yeah, depends on school. It's about, because normally you give them, I guess, their first recruiting class to get 1 or 2 years, at least with their first recruiting class. So about 3 or 4 years, but it might even be shorter.
I'll probably say 4 because when you're brought in, you have the previous coaches.
Right. You don't get your players the first year.
So, and then once they're gone, then they give you 1 year to recruit. So of course they're going to see how you look with your players. And if there's any kind of expectation, if they reach some kind of level, okay, can you do better than that? So typically it's 3 to 4 years on average for a coach in college.
Within this 4-year span that Penny has been there, one thing that is different from all other coaches is a pandemic. Like that really affected his program, all of our lives. So maybe they're giving him a little more grace due to that,
And he was selling tickets.
He's selling tickets. I was just about to say, like, you got the Tubby Smiths who can be here for what, 2 years?
2 years.
That's what my main pushback was when people were saying that they wanted Penny fired. He wasn't performing to the level that he should have, which I get the questions that were asked to him were probably a little unfair, but at the same time they were warranted. Like he wasn't performing to the level that, one, he gave us the expectation that he could. And then 2, when you bring in this level of talent, like that just naturally comes with it. When you have the likes of James Wiseman, you have Precious Achiuwa, you brought in like these top 5, these top 3 recruiting classes, people are just going to naturally like expect you to do well. And so people are saying, Penny should be fired. I'm like, I mean, you can say that all you want to, but he damn near selling out the FedEx Forum as a college basketball team. So if nothing else, he keeping the lights on in there, John, for real.
Yeah.
Right. And speaking of advanced form, let's go on to another team of growth.
I see
Memphis
what you did.
Grizzlies.
Amazing growth.
What a week.
Amazing growth.
What a
It's
week.
been a week, man. It has been a week.
From people breaking brooms to people getting dunked on.
Should we just go to the story?
I'm glad. Scott, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here because after White Bianca was sounding on Twitter when you broke the room, I didn't think we'll see you again, bro.
Yeah, so I still haven't replaced the broom, so I probably got another 2 or 3 hours before I get kicked out.
How you still alive, bro?
Yes. Yeah, I was just about to ask. By the grace of God, you're with us today.
But no, John Morant is the reason I broke the broom. He's the reason, I went trending a little bit on Twitter, and it just happened because I was, cleaning. The baby was sitting right there, and I had the game on. It's on max volume, so I'm in there, turned. I was a little turned off the crown, but I'm cleaning, I'm sweeping, and I look up, and I just as I'm looking up, I see Ja jump from where, if you go back and look at where he dunked from, it's kind of unreal that he dunked from where he dunked from. So I look up and the man is he's jumping, and I'm like, there's no way he's finishing. He literally would not stop rising. I'm just like, there's no way he's dunking it. And he finished the dunk, which that's gotta be my thing about John Morant. He getting some highlights, but he ain't finishing these dunks. And he finished that dunk, and I don't know how in the hell I broke the broom, but I snapped it and I just kind of left it there. So that's what happened. So blame Ja and blame the crown that I was drinking that night.
Dang.
So Ja Morant owe you a broom, pretty much is what you're saying.
Ja Morant owe me a broom, and if I get kicked out the house, he owe me some, rent money or something like that.
Hey, don't be trending on Twitter because Ja retweeted you about owing him a broom.
I know, right?
You know what? It's just been a great year for Ja Morant. He finally went to the All-Star, which was overdue. Did his thing, and he has put Memphis Grizzlies on a new level. Seriously, and he has everyone excited here. I'm Team Ja all the way.
Yeah, for sure. I think the thing it's two things that I really like about Ja Morant. One is he's embracing the city as if he's lived here his entire life. No matter if you're watching him do an interview on NBA Today, if it's a local interview, if it's a post-game interview, somehow, some way, he's either talking about the city of Memphis or he's talking about his teammates. And I think if nothing else, as somebody that's, if it's somebody that's Triple J, or if it's Dylan Brooks, or if it's Tyus Jones, that has to be an amazing feeling to kind of see somebody embrace the city of Memphis like that. So it's that I like about him. But then too, my favorite player was Kobe Bryant, and I loved how competitive and really the shit talking that came with Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. But you got to see that in John Morant a little bit. It's that killer instinct. It's that instinct to say, I don't care if it's Jakob Poeltl, I don't care if it's Jaylen Brown, I don't care if it's LeBron James. I'm going to score on you, and it ain't nothing that you can do about it. And for me, I like that. I like that type of stuff. So I'm just glad that we have somebody like that, as a Grizzly, if nothing else.
Yeah, to your point, he has that, and he's gonna do all that, and he's gonna let you know about it. Because I've been to some Grizzlies games, and I've heard the talk coming from the floor. It's crazy. One game I went to, he actually scored and looked over to the opposing team's coach, yeah, y'all might want to get a timeout. That's the straight cash that man talks, and it's not just him; it's infectious over the entire team. So, man, I'm embracing everything that's going on with the city. I love it. And I also love that we're not being liked, because for quite some time the NBA was all buddy when it came to the superstars. So it's good to see a team like Memphis in a quote unquote small market that's one of the best, and we hey, you ain't gotta like us. We're gonna come out here, we're gonna do what we gotta do, and we're just gonna keep things moving.
And they fight tough at the end of the day too. Sorry, too. They fight. They scratch and claw for every win that they can get.
Don't be surprised when your boys ask you for 2K and you see Ja Morant on the cover.
I would love to see that on the cover. I would. I mean, I like anybody that elevates the city of Memphis, and yeah, I love it. I agree with you guys. He doing it. Y'all think we're gonna win a championship?
I'm scared to know what the city of Memphis would look like if we win a championship. I'm scared.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
I'm there.
I'm scared what I'm gonna look like if the city of Memphis win a championship.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's just one of those things that, you know, being realistic, like I never thought that like we would even have the talks of like being able to win the championship. I know we had the core four several years ago, but even still, like I just don't know like what Beale Street will look like. First of all, I saw what Beale Street was like when College Game Day was here. That was an event within itself.
Crazy.
But then to have a whole entire celebration because your home franchise won an NBA championship, like that is absolutely scary. Yeah, like at that point there would be nothing else I want to see in life. There's nothing else I want to see. That would be crazy.
I'm gonna be down on Bill with my Let's Be Real hoodie, some kind of bottle in my hand, just celebrating. It's nice.
Yeah, I think that would give Memphis a huge pick-me-upper, you know, because the city of Memphis, it gets so much negative highlights and connotations and, you know, just what's put out in the media. So I love that element in this particular NBA area where Ja can kind of, you know, like I said, elevate and uplift this city because we need it. We need it all the way around. So in that aspect, I really love what he's doing.
Yeah, for sure. Ryan asked when Dylan Brooks is coming back. He's supposed to be practicing 5-on-5 this weekend, so he'll probably be back within the next 2 weeks.
He got the taper with the braids again. He's coming back soon.
Yeah, he ain't gonna stop over. He ain't gonna stop over from snowfall no more.
Yeah, he got the braids with the tape on the side. He about to come back soon. So
Cobra Gustavo. God,
did you see that? I didn't see that picture. He looked just like him.
He looked just like
But yeah, man. Y'all want to listen to more Grizz content? Of course, we got the Start at 5 podcast every Monday. This upcoming week will be on Tuesday. So let's move on to L of the month. So Ina, if you don't know, we do L of the months every single month. I think 2 came up with this topic a couple years ago. You know, we be a lot of L's going on throughout the weeks and throughout the months. So we decided to do one every single month. For January, Chandler Parsons got it for the Morgan & Morgan commercial.
He might get it again this month, though. No, he shouldn't get it.
Nah, Chris Waters did not.
According to who?
You just go.
Keep it going.
Commercial, the law commercial.
Yes, the law commercial.
And he said he was for the people. He lied. That's false advertisement off the rip.
That's not his tagline. That's the law firm tagline.
But you got somebody representing. If you got me and McDonald's saying I'm loving it, I obviously love it, I guess, right? He is in a commercial saying
you could be a Pusha T fan. You could be a Pusha T fan because that's where they got it from. So.
Lord.
But yeah, we're gonna move forward. L of the months for February. So for March, we already got a leading candidate. That's the WNBA for the whole fine thing. But for February, we're gonna backtrack it. Grambling State, although they did renege and Art Browse is not going to be there, just the initial hiring of him in the whole scenario, that got to be L of the month candidate. Brian Kelly, the coach of LSU, the video with the I wish I could find the video right now. Him with the recruit doing all the all the little dances as well. For
the slow motion filter they got, so he was doing that with the recruit. And that guy eventually signed with Alabama.
You don't like him dancing, bro? You can't.
He signed with Alabama.
Not that. It was like you went out of the way for this just for him to sign at Alabama. Which
if you refer to Brian Kelly, we don't like Brian Kelly dancing. That was terrible.
We don't, but yeah,
we don't.
And also the last choice, although Southern Heritage Classic is back on Jackson State for canceling it.
I was about to say, y'all not gonna give Dion and them the L of the month.
We got it. So who is y'all L of the month between these three?
Dion, Jackson State. All day, every day for removing such.
What up, baby?
For removing such a historic event for the city. But I mean, I guess I get it. You know, whenever there's a new coach, a new program, they have to institute what they want to do. It just so happens.
Big time though, man. Don't be coming over here and just acting too big timey. Like, come on.
But that's
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Because they're looking to have like this big classic this big time classic in the SWAC in Atlanta going forward, which is going to showcase Jackson State. I'm not sure who they're going to be playing, but I mean, if I'm Dion, it's a little bit. I can get a little bit more money in Atlanta than I would in Memphis. No disrespect to the city at all. It's no disrespect to the city at all. But it's like I can get a little bit more money, putting showcasing my team in Atlanta, and I have a better chance of getting some of my guys discovered because ultimately he wants to bring back this whole pipeline for HBCU to the NFL. So
I love it.
Personally,
I didn't like how he did it. I didn't like.
I don't like that it came at the expense of the Southern Heritage Classic, but I get the end game behind all of this.
Yeah.
But me personally, my L of the month has to go to Grambling State, to Hugh Jackson for that whole thing with basically hiring Art Browse as your offensive coordinator without necessarily reading the room on what happened with Art Browse while he was a coach at Baylor. For those that don't know, while he was a coach at Baylor, there was like numerous accounts of sexual assault involving a lot of women during his time at Baylor, and he kind of just swept it under the rug. And then while this investigation was going down, I think he kind of just he just kind of brushed it off or whatever, to just act like, oh, there's nothing that's happening. I'm innocent. Some of these guys are innocent, which ultimately led to him being fired. So for Hugh Jackson to like bring him in as, I guess, to maybe make a splash, to kind of do something sort of what Dion did at Jackson State for Grambling, it kind of fell on his head. Of course, everybody reacted to it, and eventually Grambling State kind of reneged on it. So yeah, Grambling State gets my L of the month just for that.
I don't like that. I might be with you now.
I was about to say, for exactly everything that Trevor said, Grambling State, in my opinion, they hands down deserve this award. They deserve the award for even considering our Bryce to even be an offensive coordinator. When I saw that, I was like,
why is he still allowed to be an office coordinator?
Exactly.
Why are there not any charges pressed against him or an investigation or anything?
Come on now. You're asking questions you already know the answer to. You're asking questions you already know that. I just think, like, when I saw that, I was like, there's got to be a different Art Browse, because the only Art Browse that I could think of is exactly what Trevor said. The same guy that led Baylor to, he essentially ran their program into the ground. And it wasn't because he couldn't coach. It was because he did something just as, really worse than that. Is he allowed all these sexual assault allegations to go on and acted as if he knew nothing about it. He brought in players that had history of sexual assault. He brought in players that had a history of doing things to women that no man should be doing. And for Hugh Jackson and Grambling State to even consider bringing him in to do anything with the football program was crazy. Let alone hiring him. And to what you just said, Sharky, like, he's no longer the offensive coordinator for Grambling. But still, you made the decision to do that, right? In my opinion, I'm sorry, if I'm a parent of a player at Grambling State, I'm sorry, I'm considering pulling my child out of there, because that's a decision you really should be making at all. I'm sorry, but for me, it's Grambling State, and for them even considering and then even also bringing our Browse into the program.
Let me ask a question: Is our, outside of these allegations, is our Browse supposed to be stellar in this? So he ain't even out there anyway.
Yeah, he did bring Baylor up. Baylor was like not that good before he got there.
Yeah, Baylor was, while he was there, Baylor was kind of one of the top college football programs in the nation. Some would argue probably the best.
Coach about Baylor. Oh my goodness,
probably one of the best in the state of probably at one point one of the best schools in the state of Texas. Because at one point they were better than the Longhorns, they were better than TCU. Everybody else, that's in Texas right now. So yeah, he was stellar for that. And to what our guys at the Fellas said, he was great at calling plays on offense. So.
Yeah, and you know what? Speaking of Baylor, did you see that guy that broke the record? I think was it the 100 or as far as track? Do y'all know what I'm talking about? He was a Baylor University track student. And everyone is talking about it. If you Google it right now, I think he broke the record on what is it? The 100 sprint.
100-meter dash, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
110, maybe 110. I missed that one though.
Yeah, me too.
That's been circulating this week. I thought that was fine, just because you mentioned Baylor. But yeah, I don't like this dude y'all talking about at Grambling.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know if you want to Google it because it's probably gonna make you pissed off.
Yeah, you don't.
Once you realize what he did.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You talking about the 40-yard dash? Yeah, the Baylor wide receiver. Yeah, okay, that's what I was thinking about.
From Blake. Yeah, they're at the combine. Okay, I got you.
I appreciate this in here. Yeah, I was thinking 40-yard dash, but I couldn't remember. Yeah, the guy did play for Baylor.
No, it was not the 100 or 40.
Yeah.
The reason I ain't rocking too much with them right now is like our coach on the Panthers is from there. And like literally he's going and getting quarterbacks and pass coaches and pass receivers and just bringing them on the Panthers thinking he gonna solve the world and solve the answer with that.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. I'm getting over it with hearing anything Baylor, and the fan base don't like it right now. So
Kevin,
that's why I come with that.
Tevin, you a Panther fan.
That hard. I've seen us go in the Super Bowl in the 21st.
I say y'all
got the same. Say you didn't.
I would say y'all got the same mess.
I just kind of read like you just okay. You know, you kind of just
I was alive when they had
I'm happy I wasn't the only one that felt that, Sharky. I'm just saying.
So it's like, no,
it pains me to say, man, it's curtains for our boy, man. It's gonna be curtains for Cam coming up soon. I'm sorry.
Let's have that talk for another day, my boy.
Yeah, that's a whole another show.
That's a whole other show, but I hate to say it might be that time.
He been cutting up.
Let's have that for another day, bro. But his podcast getting good.
I about to say he about to do it. He about to do it.
The $1 million grind guys, Wallow and Gilly. They are.
I gotta watch it. I gotta watch that.
You gotta watch it.
Yeah.
And like his last episode too, I guess in a way to kind of shameless plug, he had Brittany Renner on, who I guess bringing back JSU twice. And he probably gonna have on a third time, but they were just talking about the dynamics of like men and women and dating and everything, and of course how she did go to JSU and talk to the student athletes there. So I mean, Cam Newton, he knows the culture and he's getting people and talking about it in an adult form.
I love it.
Trevor, let's have that talk for another day, bro.
We'll have the talk. It hurts me
that's
too.
My favorite player. That's why
his recent podcast has all these guys posting pictures on Instagram with the caption below, "If you're a lame and you got money, you still a lame." Because that was like, I guess, like the best piece out of that content that came out of that. And these guys are posting left and right.
I was about to say, I wish I was lame and had money.
You wish you had money. Me too.
I'm lame and broke.
We got to answer this on the next pod, man. The way I'm feeling about my Panthers is not.
We'll get to that. We need to do our off season.
Yeah, we're gonna do our preview of our teams. QB carousel.
I got you, bro. I got you.
Yeah. But I do want to answer a question he did ask about Money Bates. Skyler, do you have any sources on why is it still his back? Is he just not playing?
Honestly, don't know. I think, if our opinion, I wouldn't bring him back unless it's a dire emergency. Unless you find yourself, NCAA maybe second weekend and you just cannot get a basket going. And maybe you bring him in just to see if he can. But other than that, I just think the team is rolling so well. Again, to a point we said earlier is because he's cut his rotation down. I still think Monty Bates is a good player, but I think what they were trying to do with him wasn't ideal. Monty Bates wanted to be a point guard. He wanted to show off that he could run point and he could distribute, and he couldn't do that. I just think that you should just keep him in the role of spotting up and just shooting. That's what we saw in his highlight tape. That's what made him a top recruit, and which was supposed to be next year's class. But he can shoot the ball, so let the man shoot the ball, and that's it. Don't have him dribbling and trying to set up an offense for the team. That ain't what he do.
So. And Ryan asked, do we think Doug Williams was a hypocrite for his comments, knowing that he is getting his checks from Dan Snyder? Now, his comments were about he was disappointed in Grambling State for hiring Art Browse, but he currently works for the Washington Commanders, who owner is also under the same scrutiny that Art Browse was in Baylor.
Or racist.
Or racist. One of the two.
Like Richard broke. His family is a trip, and so he's the greatest since he was young. Oh, okay, Money Bates. He probably was 14. Yeah.
I think that's what his family is trying to do.
Yeah.
But if he can't handle college basketball, he's gonna get eaten alive in the G League. I don't care what people are saying. Like, let that man come back to Memphis. Let him have a strong sophomore season, and then everything that we know that he money base can be, I guarantee you he'll be there by the end of his sophomore season. So let that man come back to Memphis.
Yep. Well, that does it for the show. Ina, thank you again for coming on.
You guys. See, that wasn't bad, was
it?
I really enjoyed you guys. Like, let's do this more often. Let me know.
Right. Well, let the people know where they can follow you, and I also got on the bottom of the screen where they can follow all of your podcasts and everything.
Okay, yes, it's been quite a few links going on. That's why he posted the flow code, which is, the main link that'll get you to everything needed. But verballyeffective.com. Please subscribe to the podcast on all streaming platforms. Also, we'll be sharing more information. I would love for everyone to subscribe to the newsletter. You can do that on that flow code page as well. We'll be distributing more information about this new innovator in residence that I'll be for the city of Memphis at COSIT that can, like you mentioned, help some of these young ladies or anyone that's interested in multimedia. Thank you guys so much. I really enjoyed you all this Saturday morning. I'm going to dig a little bit deeper into that Gremlin situation. When you talk to different people, you get news, you get content. Like, thank you. But yeah, I enjoyed you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank
Glad
you.
we can be of service.
Thank you.
Well, y'all know y'all can follow us at LBR or LBR_media on Twitter. Everything we do is on Twitter. Go there. We got a link tree on in that bio, and you just go there and follow our other podcasts. I will be returning. Let's Tighten Up next week, finally, with the Titans Fan of the Year, Stephanie Perkins. So continue out with Women History Month with women on our podcast. So stay tuned for that next Wednesday nights. And anybody got anything else?
Go Tigers.
Go Grizz.
Yep.
Go Grizz. Come on, Penny. Come on, Penny.
All right, y'all. Till next time.
Go Cowboys.
Just keep pounding.
Yes.
The fact that you took that hook, line, and sinker. All right.
All right, y'all, man.
I love
Peace.
it. Bye, guys. Thank you.